My name is Tod Marshall. I'm the Robert and Ann Powers Chair in the Humanities at Gonzaga, and from 2016 to 2018, I'm serving as Washington State Poet Laureate. Sometimes people ask me if poetry is of any use. I borrow a line from the Belfast poet Michael Longley, and I say that it's of absolutely no use, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. I believe in the value of poetry, and I believe that it's very important that we, as a society, give value to poetry. But I want to be a little more precise. I don't think that poetry is a balm, an amusement, or something to relieve the pain of troubled times. Like all creativity, dance and song, theater, painting, poetry can offer solace when the grim news of the day seems too much. These last few months have had many instances when many of us have felt that strain towards snapping. For me, well-crafted words did occasionally provide some wisdom, some beauty, some relief. However, as political rhetoric and general discord in our country become shrill, as ill-considered words teeter toward violent action or the rationalization of violence, I find myself convinced that the quiet solace art provides may not be its most important value. What I've come to believe, what I've learned, is that how art, how poetry can save us is through the cultivation of uncertainty and openness to mystery, to how others perceive the world, to the possibility of new understanding, to the chance of admitting that we're mistaken. Is there a more poetic moment than when someone says to someone else, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'll try harder to understand how you see things." To be able to do that, each of us has to cultivate space for unknowing, for empathy, and art, poetry, can do that, can lead us into mystery, new ways of seeing the world and each other. At the end of the second chapter of Walden, Henry David Thoreau writes this often quoted but mysterious passage, quote, "Time is but the stream I go a-fishing in. I drink at it, but while I drink I see the sandy bottom and detect how shallow it is. Its thin current slides away, but eternity remains. I would drink deeper, fish in the sky whose bottom is pebbly with stars. I cannot count one. I know not the first letter of the alphabet. I have always been regretting that I was not as wise as the day I was born." When Thoreau confronts the stars, and eternity, he loses his ability to count and to communicate. He's taken to a place beyond language, a place of unknowing, of uncertainty, a place closer to the wisdom that came with him into this world, or at least a place where he's more open to a new way of ordering things, a new way of seeing. This feeling Thoreau describes as distant from the arrogance of absolutism and shares a kinship with what I feel at the end of a good discussion about the arts, or after a few hours sitting around a table talking poetry with students, both here at Gonzaga and with the many lifelong students I meet out in the communities of Washington. It's what's in the air at the end of a compelling reading of poems, that moment before people clap, when something, let's call it the possibility of seeing ourselves anew, hangs in the air. The humanities, the arts, poetry do not fit into equations, but I believe that they are valuable, perhaps even necessary during times of disagreement and conflict.